This is gonna be so exciting. Today, you're gonna come finish a book with me. So the book that I've been reading is, well, I'm gonna do a couple things in the day, and then when I finish all the things that I need to do, then we'll do things that we want to do. So one of the things I need to do is go to the gym today, because if I go later, I will not be happy. It's gonna be so hot. The time is now. But anyway, this is the book that I'm reading on my Kindle. It is Julia Quinn's On the Way to the Wedding. This is Gregory Bridgerton's story, and if you follow me on TikTok, you'll realize that I post a lot more on TikTok, but not that much more. I've been saving all the good stuff for this video because I haven't done. I've done like a read with me, I think, but I haven't done like a finish with me. And I always think that the ending of a book is the best part of the book. There's a lot of books that I've read that are just very much... The book is so horrible to start. I just hate it. I hate starting books. It's not my favorite thing in the world. But after I get past like the 20% mark, that's when the real story begins. There's a book in particular that I've been wanting to read. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I've never read a book from her. I'm also kind of scared to read an actual book after reading on my Kindle because I feel disoriented. I'm not gonna lie. I feel disoriented. I feel like I need to bring my glasses with me when I read. There is nothing like a physical book, but also my Kindle goes with me everywhere and it fits anywhere, and I love her. And she doesn't run out of battery, so it's fantastic. After we finish this book, I'm going to rate all of the Bridgerton books because that should be interesting and fun. I read all of them except Queen Charlotte. Did not read that one. I mean, except Queen Charlotte. I read Queen Charlotte, and we're gonna include that. But the only one I didn't read is Francesca's story because I didn't even really know she existed. Like throughout the books that I've read, Francesca really wasn't in it. She was long gone. I really can't remember ever coming across Francesca in any of the other books, so I never really like thought of her as I was going through the series, so I didn't read hers. I probably should, but I'm still gonna rate it anyway, and I'll probably read Francesca's a different day. Who knows if it's revolutionary, if it is like a whole video about it, but right now, she barely exists in my head. Her presence never made, so I am at the 79 to 80% completion of this book, and I'm super excited. I have an hour and 14 minutes left in this book, which according to my reading speed, that's how long it's gonna take me to finish what's left. Guys, I just got back from the gym. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm listening to the audiobook.
It forward, clutching the edges of the pew for support. Nation. A little moan choked in her throat. Tears burned her eyes, and her entire body. The fate of her brother and Hermione was still in her hands.
Oh.
She looked at Gregory, aching for...
What the fuck? This man has stormed the wedding. Actually, he was invited. A +1. He stormed the wedding as they were saying, I do and I will take you as my blah blah blah. Out of breath, probably horrendous looking, on his knee in the church saying, marry me, don't marry him, marry me. And she still said no.
Anyone who moved. I don't think she can see, Hazelby said. Eyes was pulling him back. He was struggling to reach her.
Of course you're gonna be nice, you're a girly pop.
Even though, how could you?
Oh,
Hyacinth
no.
crept up behind her.
Not Hyacinth.
As if she were the very devil.
Of course he did. It says that he started walking away from it, like further away south. As soon as he turned the corner, when they couldn't see him, he's turned around and started running the opposite way. The end. I've just finished reading On the Way to the Wedding. A couple of my highlights. She didn't want to go from schoolgirl to wife with nothing in between. And that's when she was talking about how she's been engaged her entire life basically, and she didn't want to go from just being a girl into a wife without having that in between. And after that, she was talking about how she wasn't asking for very much, just a few months of freedom, of laughter, of dancing breathlessly, spinning so fast the candle flames, blah blah blah. I think it's really sweet and cute that she wants something in between her life other than the stereotypical life of people in this time period of just going to school with, or staying at home with their governess and learning and then getting married. Like, that was all they had. There was nothing in between, and you weren't allowed to be by yourself. So I'm really glad that she highlighted that in here, and it shows. Even though she's a fictional character, I wonder if women back in the day was also thinking that. They probably were. Next thing I have is, wouldn't it be nice to do something just because she wanted to and not because it was expected? In this story, Lucy is a very, not strict, but she's just very specific in planning and managing her life. And so everything that she's ever done was what was expected of her, not necessarily what she wanted to do. Her desires were never met because she always put like her family in front of it, and so she was always wondering, at least at this point in her life where she had nothing in between, she's just going to become a wife soon, she was wondering if there's anything more for her, which is to be expected because as of right now I feel like a lot of people nowadays still feel like that. And it's, again, she's a fictional character, but something that I wonder if people back in the day were feeling that way too. Which I already probably know my answer to, so I don't know why I keep asking that, but it would be nice to hear from Gus that that is a hard yes. Even something as simple as this, just leaving the home without anyone wondering why or where, or in his mother's case, with whom, was lovely. This is with Gregory when he was talking about how he finally had a sense of freedom, and it was just being able to do certain things and not having to have to do the expected things on top of that. Little things of freedom, like not having to tell people where you're going, or being able to go out whenever you want, or not being questioned just in general. On a molecular level, I really felt what he was saying here. He wasn't up to anything crazy. He wasn't out in the street drinking until his liver exploded. He wasn't doing anything like that. He just wanted the option of doing that, and that's a freeing thing. She was dancing with a man she was quite certain she would love until the end of time. I think that was just a sweet quote. I don't remember what she said in this particular paragraph, chapter, or whatever, but I thought it was really sweet. I think it was the part where they were starting to get to know each other and understand themselves, as I really like this person. The next one I have is, be with me, Lucy Abernathy, be my love, be my wife. I thought that was just sweet. That was just sweet. It was very straight to the point, and I felt like if he really did say this in person, it would be very genuine and true. This one was just funny. Lady Lucinda Bridgerton laughed. It's just funny. I feel like, you know, girls will have certain crushes and stuff, and they find out what's his last name, and they use it with theirs and just figure out, you know, it's just little girl things that, you know, is cute. Sometimes they don't realize, and then you read about it in a book and you go, wow, that actually does happen in real life. I remember memories like that. So I thought it was cute. It was a cute like little thing to throw in there to be like, you know, girls back in the day, they still do the same thing that you do now, so you're not really that different after all. A spoiler alert is essentially what happens in this book is Lucy uses payment as a final payment to Davenport, who is an earl. And so she has to get married to his son, who is gay.
Of course you're gonna be nice, you're a girly pop.
And they need to make an heir. That's why it was really important for them to get married and have a kid. And so there's this whole thing that unravels alongside that little thing I just talked about. And essentially, you know, at the same time Gregory falls in love with her, and she falls in love with Gregory, and they really do love each other. And, you know, he's trying to jump through these hoops, and throughout the entire book he's talking about how he's the youngest of the Bridgertons, and he doesn't feel like he ever had to work hard to get what he has because these opportunities were already presented to him, so he didn't have to use any of that throughout his lifetime. Which is also why he felt a little self-conscious around his brothers, because his brothers, especially the eldest one, has accomplished so much and has gone through a lot of challenges and turmoil, and was able to find love at the end of the day. And that's what he really wanted, and he really wanted to prove to himself, to his brothers, because he's the youngest, that he can do it by like moving out and doing things like that, showing that he can be independent and he is capable of doing his own things. What's really touching about the book is that the youngest and the mother have like a heart-to-heart, and I feel like every sibling at some point in this book has a heart-to-heart with their mom. Some of the siblings, like the middle kids, have a heart-to-heart with their other siblings that they view as like a motherly figure or a father figure. So it's really sweet to have those moments, especially in books like these, especially because he's the youngest and you don't get to see any of the other siblings really, because they have their own lives, their own wives, they live far away. So they don't live under the same roof, therefore they don't interact as often, and they don't keep in touch the way that, you know, life would let you, because you have to write notes back in the day and send it, and it'll take like 3 weeks to get there. So it was really sweet to have Hyacinth show up in this book at some point during a ball, because I was like, oh my god, Hyacinth! And, you know, she looks very happy. She was described very happy here. She had a moment where she was really upset with Lucy, and it really showed how strong their sibling love is for each other, and how she's willing to fight for him. Even though they don't see each other all the time, there's a very much strong bond between them. And I thought it was going to be a cute little sweet story, but at the end of the day, it turned out to be a little more juicy than I thought. So overall, I would give the rating a 3.5 stars out of 5. It was a good book. I feel like I've rated the other books better, but that's because I wasn't really picky. I was reading to read, not reading to pick. Now I'm picking, and I do like his story more than the other ones. If I was gonna rate it, I would rate Daphne Viscount. Oh my gosh. I think my favorite is going to have to be Viscount Bridgerton's story, The Viscount Who Loved Me, or something like that. I think that's number 1. That was a really, really good book. And I think it's more because I understand him, because, 1, they're the eldest. Both of them are the eldest, so that story I really understood in a different level because I'm the eldest. So that just makes more sense to me in my head. What they're saying it just makes sense, and that's how I think as well. So I'm giving it as a number 1. And it's a love story, so I was in for it. So that is definitely number 1 for me. Daphne's story to the end. Who's after that? Benedict, put that to the top. Very raunchy, very much love story book, novel. Colin, put it to the end. Penelope, what's her name? Oh geez, I already forgot her name. The snarky one, what's her name? I forgot her name. But you know who I'm talking about. Her story, oh my god, I was like, am I bleeding? Her storyline was okay, really. It wasn't really that romantic. They were writing letters to each other, and they're pretty smart. I'd give it, towards the end, Hyacinth's was sweet. I didn't read Francesca's. I'll put her, I don't know where. Hyacinth's will go in front of the one that I just rated, not Francesca's, the other one. And then Gregory will go up towards, closer to the Viscount and the Benedict's love story. I feel judged now that I've said it out loud, but, you know, from what I can recall, those are the only books that I really can recall from. Everything else is kind of just like a blur. It didn't happen. If it's not that memorable, then it really doesn't deserve to be at the top, you know. But yeah, I finished the book. I didn't get like crazy reactions. I think I did get some earlier, but not as crazy as I thought it would be. Yes. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. It was a lot, I know. I really did enjoy this read, and now I'm gonna add it to my Goodreads account.